Here's a confession. I was an English major in a different century, and I'm still in recovery. I'd like to show you how I use Workboards to track what I'm reading. You might think this is absurd, but here's the deal. One problem I have is that I'll read books, and typically the same books, over and over again, and not do anything with them. So this workboard is a reminder to me that after I read a book, I should talk to somebody about it or write about it before being done with the book. So for example, last night I talked to a friend about this book, Waking Up by Sam Harris. And she had asked me the magical question, what are you reading? And we talked about it for a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and move it over here. Great. And a few weeks ago, a colleague of mine and I presented on some material from this book. And I'd like to blog about that before putting it back on the shelf. So this workboard also helps me not stress out about the fact that I'd like to read more books than I have time to. I'll never get to read all the books I want to. But that's okay. I have options, and I'll decide as we go along. There's one more neat thing about this. So let's add a book. I'm going to add a book right now. I'm adding Personal Kanban by Jim and Tony Ann. Let's say I'm reading this book. And if you're interested in workboards, you should absolutely read this book. It's full of advice and strategies that'll help you get stuff out of your brain and into a system that you design to help you get things finished. Absolutely recommended. So let's say I've read this book over the course of a few days, probably. Then I want to talk to somebody about it. Well, I guess, I just talked to you about it, so I'm going to move it over here. Great. So what was the point of this exercise? Well, when I want to return to this book someday, I can pull it back over here, right? And put it back in my set of options, kind of wherever I feel like. And I can open up the card for this book, and look at this weird creature, activity. And it shows me when I read this book. And of course, this is just over a brief period of time. You can see it actually tracked how much time I spent reading the book. Just a moment here, but probably days or weeks in an actual example. And then also I can see how many times it's gone back into my options or reading column. A little bit of a strange example, but this is something I actually find myself doing. So the thing about rereading a book is that when you reread a great book and it's a different experience from the experience you had when you read it before, well, you know that the book hasn't changed, so maybe you have. So I encourage you to go find a book you love and read it again. And I also encourage you to, if you'd like to make a workboard just like this one, and use it for whatever you need to organize and see and not get overwhelmed by, just go on to caseyworkboards.com and you can create a free account and give it a shot. Thanks, and have a great day.